It's because of the kids. They called him Mr. Glass. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just got back from seeing Glass, directed by M. Night Shyamalan, and this is a follow-up to Unbreakable and the surprise hit Split. Split was a great movie, as well as Unbreakable. I still have the VHS from 2000, and I must say, I was very excited to see this film. Split was a great film unto itself and was surprisingly connected to Unbreakable. And Unbreakable and Split were one of those films that were great as standalone films, but it promised a connected universe to Glass. And I was really highly anticipating this film. Now, was this film everything I hope it would be? Yeah, there are many moments for fans of Unbreakable and Split. There are many moments you will love in this film. However, it's probably one of the most divisive films I've seen of recent memory. And I'm kind of split on this breakable film, so to speak. No pun intended. Before I get to what I don't like, what I like, and this will contain no spoilers, so for those who haven't seen it, you're going to have to go see the film and make up your own mind. But starting with the cast, I love seeing Bruce Willis back, as well as Samuel L. Jackson and James McAvoy. We also get to see characters from Unbreakable and Split return. And I like that. I like seeing how the world is from Unbreakable and Split. This is right after Split, but it's many years after Unbreakable. And I remember seeing Unbreakable in the theaters with my parents. I was only 9 years old when that film came out. So it was M. Night Shyamalan's second film following The Sixth Sense, and it was a very underrated superhero film, really. It was a comic book superhero film, and Quentin Tarantino said this, but it's pretty much like a film where Superman has no idea he's Superman, you know? And it's a grounded movie, and I can say that about Glass. Glass is a grounded, psychological superhero film. In this day and age where we have franchises, major comic book characters adapted, it's nice seeing something that's not based on a comic, but also something that's very grounded. It's a very different movie. If you're expecting a franchise popcorn film, this isn't it. This is a very different film. And I love the visuals. The cinematography is very well done. Each character has their own color palette. It does kind of have a long runtime. There are moments that feel very slow, and there are other moments that are great. The first 20 minutes are spectacular. The setup is great. A lot of things happen really fast at the beginning, that I wasn't expecting, but I like seeing the characters. You have David Dunn's son back, and it's the same actor playing his son older, and that's so great. Little nods to both Unbreakable and Split are hinted at and presented in the film. We also have the addition of Sarah Paulson as this psychiatrist who's basically trying to convince these characters that they're not superheroes. They deal with this condition. And of course, in these type of movies, the character is wrong. There are superpowered beings. There are things that the human characters do not understand, and stuff goes sideways. And that's kind of what happens in this film to a degree. I love seeing Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis back in these roles. It's like they never left. And James McAvoy nearly steals the show. He is such an amazing actor, and to see him go through so many transformations in one take is just amazing. Speaking of one take, M. Night Shyamalan is one of the few filmmakers that still works with blocking. You don't have quick cuts and things like that. They also play around with POV shots during fight sequences, which really surprises me, actually, in this day and age. It felt like a video game in that way, like virtual reality. But besides that, it is a really enjoyable film for what it is. But this is going to leave people divided. And I'm not going to give away spoilers. So the ending, the third act, they do something where I agree. I like the idea they had for the conclusion. But I disagree with the execution of that idea. It goes somewhere, and then just for the sake of it, it's just lazy and tacky and feels like it adds it for a twist. There's another twist that I really enjoyed that took me off guard. But Shyamalan does that thing where he just does a crazy twist to catch the audience off guard. And no, that wasn't needed, and it kind of damages the first two acts of this film that were really good. So for the score, I'm leaning between a 2.5 out of 5 or a 3 out of 5, but I give it a B-. It's one of those films that I need to reflect on more, but This was at a solid 3 and was going to a 4 out of 5 and then went down for me. And it was kind of disappointing and lackluster. I like the idea of it, it's just the execution, but the very ending had a lot of deeper themes that go beyond superheroes. It's kind of about like groups being oppressed and being their full selves, you know, reaching their full potential to inspire others. And there's a deeper theme that Shyamalan was trying to do here in this film. It's just one of those where the third act doesn't feel as strong as the previous two films, and because of that, it's lower on my list, and it's kind of disappointing for me personally. But this film has left a lot of people divided, and I would recommend watching Unbreakable and Split to fully enjoy this film. I like this film. It's just not the film I was expecting. You know, I wasn't expecting a blockbuster movie. It's just how they handled things at the very end that just kind of took a crap on everything. It kind of felt like Godfather 3, you know? Or like certain trilogies where I'm like, the way this concluded, was this needed? Did I need a sequel to Unbreakable? These films are so good on their own. Did I need this? But at the same time, it brings you back to these characters. It brings you back to this world. And it does wrap things up, and I can respect it for that. This is a conclusion to a trilogy from M. Night Shyamalan that shows us a realistic, grounded world with superheroes if they existed. And I gotta give it kudos for that. So if you're a fan of the first two films, I highly recommend this film. But go on with low expectations, make up your own mind, and it's one of those films where I think you might have to watch multiple times to kind of let it sink in. You know, there's a lot of things that I like, there's a lot of things that I did not like, that I disagreed with. But is it as good as the first two films? No, not in my opinion, but go ahead and give it a view. It's worth going back to that world, but it's going to definitely leave you with some things to think about. So 2.5 out of 5, 3 out of 5, and B minus. That is my score for Glass. Feel free to follow me on the Stardust app at Fred Film Fanatic. Again, let me know your thoughts on Glass if you have seen it. And if you have not seen it, definitely check it out if you're a fan of Unbreakable and Split. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.